There is one weird pawn move where a pawn makes its first move up 2 squares and can be captured. Still can be captured, and this move in chess is called en passant, which is a French form of in passing. This rule was passed at the same time pawns were allowed to move 2 squares on their first move. When that happened, sometimes pawns would move past other pawns without giving the other pawn an opportunity to capture, which didn't seem fair. So en passant was invented. Now pay attention because it's a little bit tricky. If your opponent's pawn moves 2 squares, which can only happen in pawn's first move, and it lands directly next to your pawn, okay, then you have the opportunity to capture that pawn as if it has moved only 1 square, like this. Let's do it once again. In simple words, if your opponent's pawn moved 2 squares forward on its first move, and you could have captured it if it had moved just 1 square. Good news, you can still capture it like this. You just have to move like this and it would be captured. It might feel weird when you perform this move, but it's a very interesting and important rule of chess as well. Now you have learned it, and now it's your turn to practice it and perform it in your next games from now on. And it's very important and tricky, especially when your opponent is not aware of this rule. Then it feels very good when you perform this uh, like this. You move 2 squares and you still captured. So next up is pawn promotion. When a pawn reaches the end of the board, it promotes. Pawns are the only piece that only go straight, they can't be backwards. So the players can promote it to a queen, a knight, a rook, or the bishop. It happens when you keep moving your pawn and it reaches at the end of the board. So you can promote it to a queen as well while having another queen on your board, and by this you will have two queens and it will be very powerful. And it's not necessary that you have to promote in a specific piece. You can promote to anything, any piece. So now it's your turn to practice it